Hey guys, today we have a 2025 Mazda CX-50. Now the CX-50 doesn't have the easiest job on earth as it competes with segment leaders such as a Toyota RAV4 or a Honda CR-V. There is a one category though in which the Mazda smokes both Toyota and Honda, and we're talking about styling. I mean, no matter if you're looking at the interior or the exterior, this thing looks amazing and is kind of giving you a little bit of that premium vibe. I mean, for the past few years, Mazda is trying to do that, but it's not a full-blown luxury entry-level premium vehicle, and we're gonna talk about that in a bit. Quick layout of the CX-50. It differs from the CX-5. In this year, we're not gonna focus on differences between the CX-50 and the CX-5. Long story short, CX-5 uses a different platform. It has similar engines, but it's smaller, has different type of suspension. That's a material for another review. We're gonna talk about the CX-50 purely today. So it sits on Mazda's front-wheel drive architecture, the same one that is used in the CX-30 or the Mazda 3, meaning we get strap-front suspension and a torsion beam in the back. Now, the use of torsion beam might be controversial to some. It is a cheaper solution, and Mazda argues that they wanted to focus on developing a good torsion beam rather than doing a not good of a job with poorly designed multi-link. I'll leave it up to your interpretation. I'd rather see a multi-link here, but most of the time, you will not even notice it's a torsion beam. As of engines, we have three powertrain options in 2025. We can get a base naturally aspirated, 2.5 liter, 187 horsepower, 4-cylinder. We can also get the model that we're testing today, which is a 2.5 liter turbo variant that on regular gas makes 227 horsepower. On premium, it makes 256 horses. The torque remains basically the same, 310 for regular, 320 pound-feet of torque for premium gas. Now, new for 25 is the hybrid variant that uses Toyota's hybrid system that you can find in the RAV4, makes 219 horsepower, uses eCVT and a small battery pack. Now, Mazda CX-50 being a Mazda should have good driving dynamics, right? So since we're on my favorite back road, let's put it into sport mode, manual, and take a couple of corners a little bit more aggressively. Now, one thing I wanted to point out, we are on all-terrain tires as the model we're driving is a Meridian Edition. What it does add to the CX-50, we're gonna talk about that in a second, but let's focus on driving dynamics first. Body control is pretty good. It's a Mazda, it leans like all Mazdas do, but it's very nice, I like it. The steering actually does give you a little bit of feedback, which is also characteristic for Mazdas. Brakes are fine. They feel touchy at first, but then you can modulate the braking power pretty precisely. The steering got changed for 2024 and 2025 model years. The early 23 CX-50s have very heavy steering. People were complaining, so Mazda addressed that. Okay, what's cool about this is when you lift off in the middle of the corner, the car starts to rotate. The rear end is becoming a little loose, and that's pretty cool. I like it. The 256 horsepower, because we're in a premium right now, motor provides plenty of low-end torque, almost diesel-like. It dies down pretty quickly around 5,500 RPM. And it works fine with a 6-speed conventional automatic. Not the quickest unit on the market, but it's okay. It's adequate for this type of vehicle because you're gonna drive it normally. So let's go back into normal driving mode, put it into drive, and talk about what it's been like to live with the CX-50 for the past few days. As a daily, this thing is pretty nice. I'm not gonna lie. It rides a little bit rougher, a little bit harsher than the RAV4, CR-V, or the Forester. It is a Mazda at the end of the day. You can feel that torsion beam in the back, but 99% of people will not even realize that. I asked my wife to drive it and to tell me if she feels anything weird about it, and she couldn't even tell. Like I said, Mazda wanted to focus on developing better torsion beam and putting the development money into things like cabin space, like the design, and they succeeded. I mean, the cabin space is amazing. It's made of decent quality materials. It's not at the level of Volkswagen Tiguan. That car, I think, is the best mainstream compact SUV when it comes to the interior refinement. But Mazda is very nice. It looks nice, it feels nice. All the buttons and switches and knobs have very nice feedback. The materials are soft where it matters. Seats are comfortable. They don't provide much support. They're pretty flat, but they have a lot of cushioning. They are heated and cooled in the Meridian trim, so that's nice. Nothing squeaks in here, nothing rattles. Again, you get that entry-level luxury car feel, but not really. When you take a closer look, like you see, this is all, you know, cheaper plastic, but that's fine. You know, like, we don't sit in our cars and look at every single material and see how everything is put together. It's put together very nicely. What matters is when you go over bumps, nothing rattles. When you're at higher speeds, the cabin is pretty well isolated despite the all-terrain tires that we have in the Meridian trim. So this thing being a daily, like I said, pretty nice. Quickly forgot to add what Meridian Edition package gives you. You know, it's a more outdoorsy, off-road style trim. It gives you all-terrain tires, matte hood graphics that actually help during sunny weather because there isn't that much reflection coming from the hood when the sun hits it, and you get a little bit of garnish on side panels and your headlights, and that's basically it. There is an Apex package that gives you roof rack, roof rails, and mud flaps. That's basically it. There's no changes to the suspension, no matter if you get the Meridian or the Apex. I think it would be cool to see some lift kit. I think in this configuration, the CX-50 has around 8.5 inches of ground clearance, which isn't bad, but if Mazda wants to compete with something like a Forester Wilderness, then it would be nicer to have more ground clearance. There's also no changes to the all-wheel drive system. It's a front bias AWD, but it gets the job done. Engages the rear axle when it needs to. On loose gravel, it does a pretty good job together with those all-terrain tires. You get good amount of grip, so that's good. As of interior space, the back seat offers pretty good amount of room. The door opens almost at a 90-degree angle, so if you have kids, if you have car seats that you have to put in, this is gonna make your life a lot easier. The storage is pretty average. The door pockets are fine, but this all is pretty shallow and we don't have that much room in the center console. The trunk is practical. When you fold the back seat down, the floor is flat. Obviously, if you guys have any questions, drop a comment, ask me about the CRVs, about the RAV4s, Foresters. I basically drove all of the cars from that segment. They're very popular, so I'll be more than happy to provide any feedback and any help. Thanks again so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Maybe you should get the Blazer over the CX-50. I mean, look at that thing. The RS. It's all red, dual exhaust tips. Yeah. Take care.